When most people want a dress, especially with a tight deadline, they think rushing to buy fabric is the move. But in haute couture, the real work starts long before that. Taking measurements, drafting the moulage, creating the sloper, building the pattern, and then the muslin. Before a single inch of fine fabric is cut, I test the design and fit on a mock dress. That's how we ensure perfect execution before ever touching the real fabric. After placing my pattern on steamed muslin, which is a plain cotton fabric that needs to be steamed before working with, I'm adding a 1-inch seam allowance. Ready-to-wear garments usually use a quarter to half an inch, but in haute couture, the standard is 1 inch. It's simply a more expensive look with more room for adjustments. I'm using this yellow wax transfer paper to mark the waistline on the muslin. If this mock dress fits well enough, I can take it apart and use it as the actual pattern with a few marked adjustments, cutting directly into the real fabric. Sometimes I even keep the muslin as a stabilizer underneath, but in this case, I'd only stabilize from the waist up. Once the real fabric is cut, I'll remove the muslin from the waist down. For this A-line pattern, I started the flare about 2 inches below the hip. That keeps the fit smooth through the hip before it widens. The exact point where the flare begins and the amount of fullness she wants at the hem can be finalized during the fitting, once it's visualized on the body. Here, I extended 2¼ inches at 12 inches below the hip and continue the flare line from there. This follows standard A-line pattern protocol. When I draft, I only extend about 12 inches below the hip on paper. Then on fabric, I mark the rest of the length, depending on how long the client wants it. For this muslin, I estimated about 8 inches off the floor. For full waist-to-floor measurement is 43 inches. And notice how the hemline curves in a circular way. That's because it's an A-line. The skirt spreads out, so the hem has to follow that curve to keep the length even all around. If this were a straight or pencil skirt, the hemline would be drawn perpendicular to center front. But for an A-line, the circular curve preserves the true waist to hem length and keeps the proportions balanced. And now the front piece is cut and ready for sewing.